Hey guys, this is A Skinny with Mike Murs. Today I want to talk to you about the Ti-rant 45, new silencer from us, launched it at Silencer Shoot. Still working on the first production run, by the way, but silencer's amazing. Ti-rant 45, the big brother to the Ti-rant 9mm, like I wanted to show you. Ti-rant 45 is a little longer than an Evolution 45, so you're gaining, I think this is 3/4 of an inch over an Evolution 45 in length, but you're gaining a world of performance. Same thing like the Ti-rant 9mm that I talked about. Titanium tube. It's going to give you additional wear here. Lighter allows us to make the tube stronger and lighter, which are two things that are a little harder to do. Just like the Ti-rant 9mm, the silencer comes apart without tools. So toolless take apart. And this one's been shot a little bit, but you can see the piston housing, and you can see this is what gets dirty. On the other, I showed you on the Ti-rant 9, but it was new. On this is what gets really dirty in carbon. This is what the carbon sees first. So the fact that this removes in the Ti-rant series of silencers is really advantageous because you can take it apart and clean it. And the only thing that holds the piston in here is O-ring. It rides on a Viton O-ring. Spring, piston. Now, silencer itself is designed to hold moisture in the rear. You can shoot it wet or dry, just like the Ti-rant 9mm. A little bit about 45 silencers. Before the Ti-rant 45, there really wasn't a silencer that you could shoot dry, meaning no water or artificial media in the rear of the silencer, artificial atmosphere. Just shoot it, thread it on your gun and shoot it dry and be hearing safe. OSHA says for pulse noise you need to be 140 dB or less. Pulse noise is a noise that lasts less than 1 second, so like a gunshot. So 140 dB or less. Evolution 45 on an HK Tactical 45 handgun, Remington 230 grain ammo in our testing is about 142, 143 dB when shot dry. Well, when you add 5 cc's of water in the rear of the silencer, so what we mean when we say shooting a silencer wet, you add 5 cc's of water or some sort of artificial atmosphere in the silencer. That's going to get it down to about 134 dB. It's our testing, some independent sources out there too. But about 134, 133 dB on an HK45 tactical with water and 230 grain Remington ammo. Well, it's nice to be that quiet. 132, 133, 134 dB is nice, but as you shoot it, what happens is, and this is not just the Evolution, this is every 45 silencer you shoot wet, you shoot it and the water starts to burn out, it evaporates. So half a mag through, it goes to 135. Then a whole mag through, it's 136, 137. Well, then you put another mag up, you and your buddy are talking, you load it up, you start shooting it. Next thing you know, you're over 140 dB, which can cause long-term hearing damage. So you're at 142, 143 dB, and that's not really something that's going to ring your ears. So you may be damaging your hearing and not even know about it. So 45 silencers were something you always had to shoot wet. Now, a little bit more about shooting wet. You can put any media you want in here. You can use white lithium grease in small amounts, about 5 cc's again. The grease is nice because it stays in the silencer and doesn't evaporate. It might last 4 or 5 mags. It could even last an afternoon depending on your firing schedule. But it's grease, so it smokes a little bit, and it's going to cause back pressure from the silencer coming out of the ejection port to spit grease all over you and your clothes. So it's not really the funnest way to shoot. You can shoot water, like I said, but you got to mind it a little more. I know guys who put hand sanitizer, shaving cream, anything water-based in here. But what's really popular lately has been wire pulling gel, and this is gel that electricians use to pull wire and housing. As long as, if you're using wire pulling gel, it's pretty viscous, so it stays in the silencer, there's not as much first round pop, and it's water-based, so it doesn't stain your clothes up. But you want to make sure you use wire pulling gel that's water-based, not wax-based. So anyway, a little bit about wet silencer. How wet silencers work is the sound energy is absorbed in the more dense atmosphere associated with any artificial atmosphere. So even just water vapor is denser than no water vapor. White lithium grease, like I said, a little denser, lasts a little longer. Doesn't necessarily give you a better reduction, just a longer lasting. Same thing, wire pulling gel or any of those other things. So a little bit about wet. Back to the Ti-rant 45. The Ti-rant 45 is an amazing leap forward, and I've been around silencers now pretty hardcore for about 5 years. And you see silencers come out and it's 1 dB better, 2 dB, 3 dB. Oh, it's a better finish, or it's a better design, or it's a little more compact. But there's never really a large jump. I've never witnessed it until you see something like this. Ti-rant 45 on an HK USP tactical with 230 grain Remington ammo, dry, completely dry, is 135 dB. So you're talking a 7-8 dB improvement over a class-leading silencer like the Evolution 45. So it really changes the game when you go to 135 dB silencer. There's nothing else out there that does that. So you can shoot it dry all day, no need to put any water in it. You can shoot it as much as you want, never damage your hearing, and it's very enjoyable. Roughly as quiet as the Evolution 45 with water in it. When you put water in the when you put water in the Ti-rant 45, 5 cc's of water in the rear of the silencer. Where you add the water is in the rear here because there's an area, a coaxial area, that's designed to capture it. Same thing, Evolution 45, Evolution 9, Ti-rant 45. There's a little area that's designed to capture it. And we want it right there when the bullet enters into the silencer where the hot expanding gas is at its most violent point to get into that artificial media and carry it through the silencer. So you add the water. When you shoot it wet, this silencer is 124, 125 dB. So when you're 133 on an Evo 45 and you go down to 125, even if it was 126 in that range, that's just really, really quiet. To give you a feel for it, that's as quiet as a Ti-rant 9mm shot dry. And you're talking about a 9mm silencer. Ti-rant 9mm is the same diameter silencer. Again, Ti-rant 9mm class leading silencer. But the hole in the middle of a Ti-rant 9mm is a 9mm hole. It's roughly half as big as the hole that 45 goes through. So you lose a lot of volume, baffle-wise, to the hole that has to pass through the silencer. So to get down to the same suppression level, even using artificial media, really is impressive. Shooting something that's 124, 125 dB all day long is very enjoyable. I mean, there are 22 silencers out there, I've said this before, there are 22 silencers out there that are 124 dB. And that's 22 long rifle with a very small aperture through the silencer. So Ti-rant 45, definitely a little bit different piston design here. So the Evolution 45 pistons do not work in the Ti-rant 45. It's a new design. I actually like the way that it locks up better. So this is going to be one toolless take apart in the new design. Crazy quiet, titanium tube. But I really like the way this locks up with the silencer. There's no wiggle here, like some of the other handgun silencers in the past. And Evolution's been out, Evolution series of silencers has been out since 2001. So, you know, we've had 9 years to learn from that. And really, this is a better way to lock up the piston on the ASAP. Guys, a little bit about the pistons that are available for the Ti-rant 45. Obviously, we're going to have it for the HK handguns. Now, HK Tacticals are going to be threaded metric 16x1 left hand. One thing about the HK Tactical and any metric thread pitch, so this even goes back to the 9mm or 40 caliber guns, is the end of the threads has a precision ground surface that's designed to interface with an O-ring. The O-ring is down in the piston about right here. It's a Viton O-ring down in the piston about right there. There's a Viton O-ring that we use that engages this precision ground surface at the very end of the barrel. So this area here. So this is threads, and this is the precision ground surface. Now, Evolution 45, Evolution 9mm, Ti-rant 9mm, all the metric thread pitches, you have an O-ring that engages this. That O-ring provides friction that keeps the silencer from loosening while you're shooting, and it does make a difference. The difference with the Ti-rant 45 and what we're doing new is we're using an O-ring to engage this surface on the end of the barrel. We're also engaging the outside diameter of the barrel behind the thread. So we actually have two Viton O-rings, one here at the end of the threads, and one here engaging the outside diameter of the barrel. So having two pistons like that, it allows you to have double the friction. So in theory, it's going to stay twice as well. So it really does work. I mean, I've shot the Ti-rant 45 with double O-rings, and it really gets a good, and here, you know, I'm crushing it down, really good snug fit. So a little bit of an advance there. What's really exciting is the non-metric thread pitches, the USA thread pitches, do not call out for that precision ground surface on the end of the barrel. The barrel's threaded all the way to the end. So you've never been able to utilize an O-ring there. Well, on a .578 by 28 thread pitch, also offered for Ti-rant 45, it's a standard thread pitch. You'll find on Glocks usually, you'll find it on 1911s or the SIG P220 Combat. So that standard thread pitch doesn't call for an O-ring, but we use an O-ring on the outside diameter of the barrel here. So this is the .578 by 28 O-ring, and it engages the outside diameter of the barrel and stops. So you're actually able to use the O-ring for a standard for a non-metric thread pitch. So we're pretty excited about that. Anyway, Ti-rant 45, crazy quiet. Titanium tubing is going to last you longer. It's lighter. Even though the Ti-rant is longer, it's not heavier than an Evolution 45. Game-changing performance because you're really able to shoot a silencer and not damage your hearing and not worry about damaging your hearing. And if you want to shoot it really quietly, you have the option of putting artificial media of some sort in the rear of the silencer and discharging it. And a more solid ASAP system with a better lockup. I mean, it locks up on all of these teeth. Same with the Ti-rant 9mm. It locks up on all the teeth. Where silencers in the past we've had may lock up on one or two of the teeth for indexing. This is a sturdier lockup. So you gain a lot going to the Ti-rant series. Ti-rant 45 really is the only way to fly as far as I'm concerned. Going to be more skinnies on the Ti-rant 45. We're going to shoot it some. But wanted to give you kind of an intro here. Definitely an amazing silencer. So if you want to shoot 45, great thing about 45 is 230 grain ammo is subsonic. So you can buy pretty much any 45 ammo. It's 230 grains in a 4 or 5 inch barrel and have subsonic ammo right away. So you want to shoot a 45, this is definitely the way to do it. Ti-rant 45. Enjoy it.